For my late millennial slash early Gen Z people, do you remember playing Time Crisis in the arcades or even on the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2? Well, I do. I remember the crazy fast-paced action sequences and shooting at a bunch of enemies. Well, today I present to you Undercover for the Quest 3. So I haven't done a Quest 3 review or any Quest game review in a while, but I do think Undercover is very worthy of a review. It releases on February 15th, just after Valentine's Day. So what is Undercover? Undercover is a light gun cover shooter inspired by arcade classics, which is essentially Time Crisis. In Undercover, you play as one of two undercover agents, Magnum and Red Eye. Your mission is to infiltrate evil megacorp Infinidine and take down the CEO, Pax Harrison, and shut down his mind control technology before he turns billions into cybernetic quote-unquote meat puppets. Funnily enough, Pax Harrison really reminds me of Elon Musk, and it's kind of funny as the MCs interact with him in the game that I'm just the whole time thinking, that's definitely Elon Musk. Even the mind control technology really reminds me of Neuralink, which makes this game even better. The main mechanics of this game is to shoot, reload, and dodge enemy fire with the active cover system. What's dope is that this game can be played standing or sitting. While standing, all you have to do is duck your head slightly and you can enter cover, which automatically reloads your weapon and helps you evade enemy attacks. Not gonna lie, since I'm somebody who works out a lot, this got tiring really fast because my legs are already burnt out. And so I ended up switching to sitting mode, which uses a button input, to duck, which my knees appreciated a lot. The sitting mode can also be played standing, which is also nice. So if you don't feel like ducking, you just play like that. Like I said before, you can play as two main characters, Magnum and Red Eye. Depending on who you choose, you can use the standard weapon, which is a regular pistol, or you can use their special weapon with Magnum having her, Magnum, Liberty Bell, or Red Eye having her auto pistol, Force Major. Personally, Liberty Bell felt like the better weapon of the two, but at the end of the day, it's all preference. There is a solo and co-op mode to the game, which is awesome. So if you want to compete with a friend, the game makes it really fun and competitive to do so. I ended up playing with my boy Butters VR Gaming. Y'all should go give him a follow. He's a really dope VR YouTuber. And it was actually a really cool experience. I haven't played a multiplayer VR game like this in a while. Every section that you shoot through, it tallies up your score that you can see who killed more enemies in that area. At the end of the chapter, you also get a total tally of who got more kills and who was more accurate. Now I lost a lot, not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, the score came out pretty even, decent. I legitimately think this game is perfect as a beginner arcade VR experience. There's very little movement in terms of camera, and even the moving in the game with teleportation, and they even show you where you're moving to next. This game definitely goes up there with the games like Super Hot or Beat Saber, where you're stationary and there's a ridiculously low chance of you getting motion sick. For my single player peeps, you play with an AI who's surprisingly competent and helps you out from time to time. I actually had fun playing with the AI, and it was pretty cool. In terms of combat, there's a lot of fun to be had here. While dumping bullets at enemies, you can be hurt by kill shots, which are indicated visibly and audibly by the enemies, so you can see a flash of color, and that's how you know an enemy is trying to kill you, and you can duck down to avoid that. The aim down sights mechanic is also really cool and surprisingly accurate. Your sight pops up when you need it and is otherwise hidden out of sight. So if you just want to shoot without aiming, you can do that, and you can also aim in to get those headshots that you need. You definitely need the accuracy when shooting enemies in their weak spots, because a lot of enemies do have weak spots. There are also special weapon pickups that are usually hidden somewhere and you got to look around and shoot them twice to get them. My favorite of these pickups has to be the dual wheel SMGs because they make you feel like an action movie badass. There are also a bunch of different enemy types, so you don't really get bored killing enemies or even interacting with them. So it's pretty fun. So what about the environment design / levels? Well, this game has a really cool retro art style, which really complements the gameplay. If you've been on my channel at all, you know MartydudeVR loves stylistic VR games, and this is definitely one of them because it's oozing with style and really cool art. I never really got bored looking around different levels, and I actually enjoyed the different set pieces that they brought up. The environment is actually destructible too, which is really nice because I feel like a lot more Quest games need to have destructible environments when it comes to shooters. So that's definitely a big plus for me, and it was actually really cool because some of the pickups that I mentioned earlier were hidden behind random windows and boxes you can shoot through. The level is also split into routes, so there's 2 routes for each level. There's Route A and Route B. So Magnum and Red Eye take different routes depending on the level. So that adds a lot of replayability to these levels because you can see the level from a different angle and get different enemies for each run. So highly recommend you, if you get this game, go back and play through Route A and Route B, and make sure you get the full experience of Undercover. All right, that's enough yapping about the combat. Let's talk about the story. My God, the story in this game, I have to give developers credit. They actually tried with the story, and it's actually a really good and competent story, and it has really good voice acting. Voice acting really stands out to me in VR games, because there's not a lot of good VR games that have good voice acting. I really enjoyed Magnum's and Red Eye's back and forth with each other, and their overall just friendship displayed throughout the game. You actually feel a real camaraderie with the characters, and you actually really feel like they're actual friends in real life. The bosses were hilarious to talk to, and there's a lot of good jokes in this game that actually made me chuckle a little bit. Overall, it's a pretty decent narrative that really ties a fun retro game together. My only big critique of this game is I wish there was a more variety in terms of bosses. I would have loved more boss types just to kind of spice things up, because fighting the same boss at the end of each mission does get a little repetitive, but it is not a deal breaker for the game. So who would I recommend this game to, and is it worth the price of $25? Personally, I think this game has enough quality, content, and replayability to definitely warrant the price tag. I really enjoyed my time with this one. I'll recommend it to any VR beginner wanting a simple experience, or to any current VR gamer who wants a fun, time crisis-like experience in VR. Shout out CodeSeek for the key, I really appreciate it. Hopefully this game comes to PSVR or even PC VR in the future. Make sure to check out VR Rock for prescription lenses, and check out AMVR for Quest 3 accessories. Man, both of those sites are having really good deals, so make sure you go check them out and tell them MartydudeVR sent you. Use code MartydudeVR for 10% off on both sites. With that being said, it's been your boy MartydudeVR, and remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.